D.L. Hughley breaks the news. CNN, Saturday night at 10, Sunday night at 11.
We are back with RNC Chairman Michael Steele, and joining us, this man actually needs no introduction. He is a hip-hop legend. Please give it up for Chuck D. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. You were in the back. You listened. You heard me talking to Michael Steele.
Man, it was so exciting, man. Just eloquence across TV.
Yeah, and he's an eloquent man. I don't know that I necessarily agree with him, but I can honestly say I've never heard the Republican agenda articulated so accessibly.
About time?
Yeah, right. Well, can hip-hop help the Republican Party?
I wouldn't even mix it. You know, hip-hop needs an infrastructure of administration that's really kind of showing that it needs help. You know, I mean, the record business is in trouble, and hip-hop is really seriously, you know, as a fiscal situation, in trouble too. So it needs its own infrastructure instead of figuring out how it could be used to help something else. I think it's a culture, a subculture. It comes out of the people. It got to be given back to the people.
And Chuck D, that's exactly my point. It's going to the roots, and you just laid it out very clearly. The reality in the black community that it has moved from a slave mentality into a self-empowerment mentality, which is so critically important. And one of the things I recognized and what moved me into the GOP when I was 17 years old was the idea that this party focused on the individual, the right and the ability of the individual to articulate a vision and a future for themselves and move towards that. And what struck me about hip hop as a genre, as music, as whatever you want to call it, a culture, was the fact that you have guys like yourself who come out of the projects, come off the street. Myself, I grew up on 8th Street in D.C. That's a whole different world from where I am right now. And the reality of it is, you took that struggle.
I come from Roosevelt, Long Island. It's not the projects.
Well, it's not, but
it's where black people live.
Where black people live. But I'm just saying where people typically, the stereotypically or otherwise, find us living. We've moved from that into something different, and the question is, what do you do with it now that you're here?
No, Michael, I agree. I'm telling you, if it were the sign alone, in other words, the tenets of the Republican Party are amazing, and they seem warm and welcome. But when I watch it be applied, like, you didn't have to go much further than the Republican National Convention. It literally looked like Nazi Germany. It really did. And I said that point. It just does not seem like, not only are we not welcome, not only are we not welcome, they don't even care what we think. And that seems to be the way
I like to say, I covered the Republican convention in '96 for MTV. I've been involved with the Choose or Lose and all the Rock the Votes for the last 12 to 20 years. And seriously, their agenda was totally somewhere else, which totally, didn't have black people or people in color in mind. So they have a big, they may have the right person to try to sell them. I'm just saying the tricks should be over as using something else to try to get black people. I mean, real talk is going to have to get people of color for real things. I mean, I feel that, first of all, the two-party system is just played. It has to expand. The Green Party had Cynthia McKinney and Rosa Clemente with issues and dealing with a lot of issues that we kind of felt, but also at the same time, maybe the rest of America would have had a problem with it. So it's got to be a situation where maybe 3 parties, maybe 4 parties talk to all the people, and maybe the whole system be revamped.
You're right. A lot of the things I see Republicans do specifically are reactionary. They'll go, you know what? Oh, they don't like Hillary? Let's give them Sarah Palin. They voted for Obama. Let's give them Michael Steele.
With an echo behind their reaction.
And the other guy who we're not sure who he is yet. It is always so. It is so plastic that you go, wow, is this what they think? They think that then they're missing the entire point of what happened during the Obama transformation. They mentioned the entire point, and I don't understand that. That's what seems so off-kilter to me.
Well, let me make a couple things. There was a Michael Steele before there was a Barack Obama. I mean, the reality of it is, I had established, I was the only black lieutenant governor in the country at the time. I was the only black statewide elected official when I was lieutenant governor of Maryland from 2003 to 2007, and then Obama got elected in 2005. And so that wasn't about, oh, gee, let's do this because of Obama. But the fact is, let me make the second point. The second point is, when I talk about hip hop, I'm really not talking about specifically just hip hop. I'm talking about the Republican Party have an urban agenda, an agenda where where our community lives, where our community is creating wealth, going to school, living and dying, and have something to say to them. I'm not trying to play off of hip hop. I'm not trying to use hip hop. What I'm trying to recognize is there's something of value that's happening in the community that's reflected on the economic side of hip hop, and I think that's something worth talking about.
There's more things that you have to be involved if you want to say a hip hop state of mind. There's school curriculums, there's youth centers that have to be systems have to be implemented there. Now, if you just want to talk just economics or how people could get bigger and we return to nothing but the Benjamins type of living, and I mean, that's not going to work with the masses of the people.
Well, agreed. But look, you don't get anywhere without an education. But I can take you right now to Frederick Douglass High School in Baltimore City, where the educational system that's supposedly training and teaching the future generation of black folks ain't doing that. Right. It's not doing it at all. So the question then becomes, and Republicans aren't running the city of Baltimore. So the question then becomes, how do we as a community become self-empowered to make the system, whether it's run by Democrats or Republican, work for us?
You know what we do? We talk like we're talking now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have your view, I have mine. We don't need incendiary rhetoric.
Exactly.
Like Rush Limbaugh, who is the de facto leader of the Republican Party.
No, he's not.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've never heard anybody.
I'm the de facto leader of the Republican Party.
Then you know what? then I can appreciate that. But no one will actually cry down some of the things he says. Like when he comes out and says that he wants the president to fail. I understand he wants liberalism to fail. Like I get that it's not about the man, but it is still about the idea that he would rather have an idea fail so his idea could move to the forefront than have us succeed. And that to me is destructive.
How is that any different than what was said about George Bush during his presidency?
You're absolutely. Let me tell you something.
So let's put it in the context here. Let's put it in the context here. Rush Limbaugh is an entertainer. Rush Limbaugh, his whole thing is entertainment. Yes, it's incendiary. Right. Yes, it's ugly.
You get the sense that he would say
influences
anything.
the party. And I tell you what, you're the first Republican I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot, that said he's not the leader of this party. They will never. I've never heard anybody say that on any show. We get past a lot of things when three men who are all from different kinds of backgrounds, who all have different ideological views, look and go, you know what, I can respect that in you, or I cannot respect. You know what, I don't have any preconceived notion. I thought you were a bright guy then. I think you're even brighter than I did before. But I just think that the brand you're selling ain't for us. It's just not.
Well, I'm saying,
baby. I'm just saying.
What I'm saying is the brand needs help. The brand needs work. There's no doubt about that. I'm not trying to sell it. What I'm trying to make it is valuable and something that people can look at and consider. And I think that we do have something to say on some very serious issues that touch a lot of people on empowerment and ownership and opportunity. And I'm going to make sure we say it. And that's the point.
Can I ask this question, Michael?
Sure.
Does your party look to you as being some sort of a desperation attempt?
No. And as I said before, I've been doing this a long time. I've been a Republican since I was 17. Right. It was a choice that I made before, the pro-life issue was out there, before a whole lot of stuff that now defines this party was in play. What defined it for me was that value that the party actually respected me like my mama did as an individual. And that made a difference for me.
There's no doubt that you're worthy of respect. But, this does seem like a common situation. When you get in trouble, always bet on black, baby. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Well, but, hey.
I'm just saying. Hey, wait. Hey, Michael. They didn't, listen. They didn't just do it to you. The country, when we in trouble, let's get the black guy. That's what happened. So always bet on black. We in style now, baby.
Hey, but wait a minute. Hey, DL, when you bet on black, don't you win?
Absolutely.
All right, then.
You better come to our side.
I'm Michael Steele. Come on.